All right, a quick note on table saws. I'm not going to lie, I hate using table saws. They scare the living hell out of me because when I was a kid, one of the teachers in my school, a shop teacher, ignored his own instructions and used one of these things without a guard. You'll note I do the same stupid thing because guards are a pain in the ass. But anyway, he ignored his own instructions and he got distracted by a student coming to ask him a question, and he lopped off all of the fingers of his left hand. And we had beanie weenies for lunch that day, so you can imagine what kind of an impression that would make on a 6th grader. Table saws will scare me until my dying day, hopefully not due to a table saw. Anyway, you'll note I've got the blade all the way up. That's how I did the long rip cuts on the pine that is over there on the table that I've been making the load-bearing elements of the cabinets out of. The reason for that is fear, mostly. I don't like doing just enough of a cut. I like to know where that bastard is at all times. Plus, when it's up this high, it reduces a bit of the kickback. The teeth are going down into the wood rather than into the wood linearly, so it just reduces the chance of kickback a little bit. And bear in mind that I've got my hands guiding the workpiece through here really close to this damn blade, so I hate using table saws. Anyway, note on table saws, it's very important that before you do any major sequence of operations, you do a little preventative maintenance on the saw, on the blades. And yeah, I'm messing with it, but you'll note it is not plugged in. And that is the way you should always leave a power tool, is when you're not using it, unplug the damn thing. They're dangerous, kids. Trust me. Anyway, you do a little preventative maintenance on it. You need to clean off the surface plate. You need to clean off your fence, and you need to clean the blade and oil all surfaces very lightly and then rub them down, especially if you're going to be using grubby wood like pine, which has a lot of sap that it transfers onto your tool surfaces, including your blade, your fence, and your tabletop, and it increases drag, it increases friction, it causes the blade to heat up. It can cause chatter, more wobbling. The blade will, of course, expand as it gets hotter, so your cuts will grow less and less precise. All that lovely stuff. When you square up your blade, once you've done all the cleaning and oiling, you then have to check your square if you're doing perpendicular cuts, and you use either a speed square if that's all you've got, or you use a 1-2-3 block, which I highly recommend that you pick up. I mean, I use them as a machinist, but they're extremely useful in other things such as woodworking or model building, hobbying of all kinds. 1-2-3 blocks are not terribly expensive. You have to keep them clean, you have to keep them oiled, you have to keep them dry so they don't rust up, but man, they are very useful. But anyway, you get your perpendicularity, and you do not reference off of this stupid little guard piece. Remove it when you're squaring it, because these things, if you trust them, you're an idiot. And like I said earlier, I've been an idiot before, and it sucked. So don't be an idiot. Reference off the table. If you're going to be doing cuts on wood that is a bit more dimensionally stable than pine, so that precision actually makes a certain amount of sense, then you can use a glide plate you should just put over here. It's a piece of, you can use MDF. It's cheap and it's got good dimensional qualities, or you can use a scrap piece of high quality, like cabinet grade plywood. But what you do is you bolt it to your table, you turn your saw on, and then you slowly elevate the blade up into the wood, into the sacrifice glide plate, so that it cuts a very, very thin slit exactly where the blade is, and that'll help reduce chatter and stabilize the blade for more precise cuts. And that makes sense on a good hardwood, oak, maple, that sort of thing. But on pine, which is not dimensionally stable, it swells and contracts a lot due to environmental conditions, there's no point doing that. All you just need to make sure is that your blade is perpendicular and your surfaces are very, very clean and very lightly oiled. And that's my pro tip of the day. Bye.